The salt-streaked window shattered under Alex Rivera's fist, shards of glass exploding like the fragments of a shattered life, as his father's voice boomed through the house like thunder over the Pacific. "You know, son of mine, Alex, you're a goddamn burden, a curse on this family." Robert's words hung in the air, thicker than the fog rolling in from the sea, sealing the fate of the boy he'd raised in this crumbling Victorian relic on the cliffs of Mendocino. In that instant, with blood trickling from his knuckles and his heart pounding like a storm surge, Alex knew. This house, this so-called legacy, wasn't theirs anymore. It was his weapon. Alex stumbled back from the window, the cool evening breeze whipping through the jagged hole, carrying the faint cry of gulls and the endless roar of waves below. The house on Elmira Bluff had always been more than walls and warped floorboards. It was the heartbeat of his childhood, where his mother, Elena, had hummed old Spanish lullabies while baking bread in the sunlit kitchen, her laughter chasing away the shadows of his father's long-haul trucker absences. Elena had died 5 years ago, her cancer stealing her away like a thief in the night, leaving behind a will that split the property equally between her husband and her only son. Robert had clung to it like a lifeline, pouring his grief into endless repairs that never quite fixed the leaks or the loneliness. But now, at 25, Alex saw it for what it truly was, a prison disguised as home. He'd come out to his father 6 months earlier, in a quiet moment after dinner, the words tumbling out like a confession under the weight of too many hidden kisses and stolen glances in San Francisco bars. Robert's face had twisted, not with surprise, but with disgust, his weathered hands clenching the beer bottle until it cracked. "This ain't how I raised you," he growled, storming out to the garage where he tinkered with engines until dawn. The silence that followed was worse than shouts. It was a slow erosion, Robert's eyes sliding past Alex like he was a ghost haunting his own life. Work at the local bookstore became Alex's refuge, stacking shelves of queer poetry and romance novels that whispered possibilities his father could never fathom. But tonight, after Robert caught him on the phone with a guy from the city, laughing too freely, too intimately, the dam had broken. "You're leaving," Robert snarled from the hallway, his broad frame filling the doorway like a storm cloud. At 58, he was a mountain of a man, his once dark hair now streaked with silver, his calloused hands scarred from years on the road. "Pack your shit and get out. I won't have this filth under my roof." Alex's chest tightened, a vice of rage and sorrow squeezing until he could barely breathe. Filth? This was the house where Elena had taught him to surf on boogie boards, where they'd watched meteor showers from the Widow's Walk, dreaming of stars that didn't judge. And now, because Alex loved men the way his heart demanded, it was tainted. "No," Alex whispered, then louder, his voice cracking like the glass. "This isn't just your house, Dad. Mom left it to us both. Half is mine." Robert laughed, a bitter bark that echoed off the peeling wallpaper. "Half? You think a queer kid like you deserves a dime of her memory? You're the reason she's gone. Your weakness, your shame. Get out before I make you." The words landed like punches, each one drawing blood from wounds Alex didn't know were still open. He grabbed his jacket from the hook by the door, the one Elena had sewn patches on it during his rebellious teen years, and bolted down the porch steps into the twilight. The bluff path wound down to the beach, gravel crunching under his boots as the ocean's rhythm matched his ragged breaths. Mendocino's coastline stretched out like a jagged scar, cliffs dropping sharply into foam-capped waves, the town lights twinkling faintly in the distance like hesitant fireflies. Alex collapsed onto a driftwood log, the damp wood soaking through his jeans, and let the sobs come, fierce, ugly things that shook his slender frame. 25 years old, and he was homeless, heartbroken, adrift in a world that still whispered slurs in the shadows of progress. But beneath the grief, a spark ignited. The will. Elena's lawyer had mentioned it once, in hushed tones at her funeral. Joint ownership, unbreakable unless both agreed. Robert thought he owned it all, body and soul. Alex would prove him wrong. By midnight, he was back in town, the neon sign of the driftwood flickering above him like a reluctant beacon. The motel was a squat, faded building on the edge of Highway 1, its rooms smelling of stale smoke and salt air. Alex checked in with the last of his cash, the clerk, a wiry woman with tattooed arms and kind eyes, sliding him a key without questions. In the dim room, lit by a single lamp with a fringed shade, he pulled out his phone and dialed the only number that felt like safety. Marcus, his old college roommate from UC Santa Cruz, now a paralegal in Oakland. "Dude, what the hell?" Marcus's voice was sleepy but sharp, the background hum of city traffic filtering through. Alex spilled it all. The outburst, the blood, the eviction. His words tumbling faster than he could rein them in. I need to sell the house, Mark. It's mine to fight for. There was a pause. Then Marcus whistled low. Joint tenancy means you can't sell without him, but if it's probate from your mom, there might be leverage. I'll pull the records tomorrow. Crash here if you need. Oakland's got space. Alex hung up, staring at the ceiling cracks that mapped out like veins. Leverage. The word tasted like revenge, sweet and sharp. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving, the fog blanketing the town in a shroud as Alex trudged to the bookstore. Harbor Books was a haven of sorts, its shelves groaning under volumes of forgotten stories, the air thick with the scent of aged paper and fresh coffee. His boss, Lila, a 50-something lesbian with a buzz cut and a no-nonsense glare, took one look at his bandaged hand and pulled him into the back room. Spill, she said, handing him a mug of black brew. Lila had been his quiet ally since he started there 2 years ago, recommending titles like Call Me By Your Name with a wink that said she knew. Over the steam, Alex confessed the night's chaos, his voice steadying as her eyes narrowed in solidarity. That's bullshit, Alex. Your dad's a relic, stuck in some fossilized idea of manhood. But that house, Elena poured her soul into it. You fight for it. She paused, her voice softening. And if fighting means selling, then sell. Burn it down metaphorically and build something real. Her words landed like buoys in the storm, pulling him toward shore. By noon, he'd texted Marcus to go ahead, and the first legal papers were en route. But as the bell above the door jingled, admitting a customer who scanned the romance section with intent eyes, Alex felt the world shift again, subtly, like the tide turning. The man was tall, with sun-bleached blonde hair tied back in a loose ponytail, his frame lean and athletic under a faded band tee and cargo shorts. He pulled a sketchbook from his bag, flipping through pages of charcoal drawings, seascapes, faces caught in fleeting emotion. That made Alex's breath hitch. Looking for something specific, Alex asked, stepping forward, his heart thudding inexplicably. The stranger looked up, green eyes crinkling with a smile that lit the dim aisle like sunlight piercing fog. Yeah, books on local legends. I'm Jordan Hayes, just passing through, sketching the coast. His voice was warm, laced with a faint southern drawl that softened the edges of Alex's frayed nerves. They talked for an hour, Jordan's enthusiasm for Mendocino's haunted history pulling stories from Alex he hadn't shared in years. Ghost ships off the point, Elena's tales of Selkies. As closing time neared, Jordan lingered by the counter. Mind if I buy you a coffee? Repay the insider info. Alex hesitated, Robert's venom still echoing, but something in Jordan's gaze, open, unjudging, made him nod. The cafe down the block was alive with locals nursing lattes, the window overlooking the harbor where fishing boats bobbed like forgotten dreams. Over steaming mugs, Jordan shared his own fragments. A painter from Portland, chasing inspiration after a bad breakup, his ex unable to handle the wandering artist life. You're brave, coming out here alone, Alex said, tracing the rim of his cup. Jordan's laugh was soft, self-deprecating. Brave? Nah, just running. But you. There's a fire in you, Alex. Like you've got stories that could fill a gallery. The compliment hung between them, electric, and when their hands brushed reaching for sugar packets, neither pulled away. That night, as Alex lay in the motel's lumpy bed, Jordan's number burning in his phone, he felt the first crack in his armor. Not breaking, but breathing. Days blurred into a tense rhythm. Mornings at the bookstore, where Jordan became a fixture, sketching in the corner while Alex rang up customers. Afternoons poring over emails from Marcus, the legal tangle tightening like kelp around his ankles. Robert had lawyered up, a cheap firm from town, claiming emotional distress and moral clauses that didn't exist in California code. He's bluffing, Marcus assured during late-night calls, but doubt not at Alex. The house sat empty, Robert crashing with a buddy in Fort Bragg, his truck absent from the drive. Alex drove by once, the porch light flickering like a dying pulse, and nearly broke, memories flooding of Christmases with Elena stringing lights, her frail hands guiding his. Jordan sensed the shadows, drawing Alex out with impromptu beach walks, their footsteps sinking in the wet sand. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in bruised purples, Jordan stopped, turning to face him. What's eating you, really? Not just the dad stuff, it's deeper. Alex's throat tightened, the words spilling before he could stop them. The will, the sale, the fear that selling meant erasing Elena. Jordan listened, his hand finding Alex's calloused fingers from charcoal and canvas intertwining with bookstore soft ones. You're not erasing her. You're honoring her by choosing yourself. And hey, if you need a co-conspirator, I'm in. Their first kiss happened there, salt on their lips from the spray, Jordan's mouth tentative then fierce, like a wave claiming shore. Alex melted into it, the world narrowing to the heat of bodies, the crash of surf drowning out doubt. It was messy, urgent, hands fumbling under jackets, breaths mingling in the chill air, but it felt like coming home. Back at Jordan's rented Airstream trailer parked on the bluff's edge, they tumbled inside, the space a chaos of canvases and half-finished sculptures. Clothes shed like old skins, Alex traced the ink on Jordan's chest. A compass rose blooming over his heart, and whispered, "This is real." Jordan's eyes, dark with want, met his. Real as the tide. But reality crashed back with Robert's summons. A court date in 2 weeks, demanding Alex relinquish his share or face familial alienation claims. Panic clawed at him, but Jordan anchored, spending nights mapping strategies on napkins, his artists seeing paths where Alex saw walls. Lila rallied the bookstore crew, a makeshift family of misfits who baked casseroles and shared coming-out scars over wine. "We've got your back, kid," she said, clinking glasses. For the first time, Alex glimpsed what chosen family meant. Not blood, but bonds forged in fire. The hearing loomed like a squall, but in the quiet hours, love bloomed fierce. Jordan painted Alex one dawn, capturing him nude against the trailer window, light gilding his skin, eyes fierce with unspoken vows. "You're my muse," Jordan murmured, brush pausing. Alex pulled him close, their bodies a tangle of limbs and laughter, the canvas forgotten. Sex became sanctuary, slow explorations under starlit skies, urgent releases after tense days, each touch a rebellion against the world's judgments. "I love you," Jordan said one night, words slipping out like a secret too heavy to hold. Alex froze, then smiled, tears pricking. "Love you too." "God, I do." Yet the storm gathered. Robert cornered him outside the bookstore a week before court, his face gaunt, eyes red-rimmed. "This is insanity, boy. Selling the house. That's spitting on your mother's grave." Alex's fists clenched, the bandage long gone but scars itching. "You spat first, Dad. Calling me a burden? That's the real desecration." Robert's voice cracked, a rare fracture in the armor. "I lost her, Alex. And now you're taking the last piece of us." For a heartbeat, pity flickered. Robert, adrift without Elena's light. But then the old venom, fags like you destroy everything. Alex walked away, heart splintering anew. Court day dawned brutal, rain lashing the coastal courthouse like tears from the gods. Dressed in his best button-down, Jordan's hand warm in his, Alex faced the judge, a stern woman with silver hair and eyes that missed nothing. Marcus, flown in for the occasion, laid out the case. Elena's will clear as day, no moral contingencies in state law. Robert's claims baseless bluster. Robert's lawyer sputtered about family values, but the judge's gavel fell like judgment. "The property is jointly held. Mr. Rivera, your share stands. Petition sale, if no agreement." Elation surged, then crashed. Robert's glare from the gallery, hollow with defeat. Outside, under the downpour, Alex confronted him one last time. "We could buy each other out. Make it fair." Robert's laugh was hollow. "Fair? You buy me out with what? Your bookstore wages? Sell it then. Ruin us both." He turned away, shoulders slumped, vanishing into the gray. The sale moved fast, a developer eyeing the bluff for condos. Closing day, Alex signed a loan, the check heavy in his pocket, enough for a fresh start, a down payment on a life unburdened. Jordan waited in the Airstream, canvases packed, his own wanderlust tempered by love. "Portland? Or we pick a spot, somewhere with sunsets like this." Alex pulled him close, the house's keys surrendered, its ghosts laid to rest. "Anywhere with you." Months later, in a sun-drenched loft in Santa Cruz, Alex unpacked Elena's photo, placing it on a shelf beside Jordan's latest piece. Two figures entwined against a stormy sea, hands clasped, unbroken. The check had bought freedom, a small gallery for Jordan's art, Alex's enrollment in library science classes, nights of shared dreams. Robert sent a postcard once, postmarked Fort Bragg, "Sold my truck. Heading east. Forgive if you can." Alex burned it, then scattered the ashes at sea. Not hate, but release. In the end, the house wasn't theirs. It never had been. It was Elena's gift, a bridge to cross into truth. And as Jordan's arms wrapped around him, whispering futures into his ear, Alex knew. Love wasn't a burden. It was the only legacy worth claiming. The ink on the closing documents was barely dry when the first cracks in Alex's resolve appeared, not from regret, but from the hollow echo of victory. Santa Cruz welcomed them with its boardwalk bustle and eucalyptus-scented hills, a vibrant contrast to Mendocino's brooding cliffs, but the check's weight in his bank account felt like fool's gold, shiny yet cold. Jordan, ever the optimist, dove into their new rhythm with paint-splattered enthusiasm, transforming their loft above a surf shop into a kaleidoscope of color. Walls splashed with abstracts of ocean fury, shelves crammed with Alex's dog-eared queer lit. "This is us," Jordan said one evening, uncorking a bottle of Pinot as the sun dipped behind the bay. Raw, real, remade. Alex wanted to believe it. Sinking into the kiss that followed, Jordan's body a familiar map of freckles and firm plains. Their lovemaking was a ritual now, bodies sinking like waves to shore, Jordan's hands mapping Alex's hips with reverence, his mouth tracing collarbones with whispers of mine that sent shivers racing. But in the quiet after, as Jordan sketched late into the night, Alex's mind wandered back to the Bluff house, its widow's walk where Elena had once pointed to constellations, naming them after forgotten lovers. "What if I made a mistake?" he confessed one dawn, voice muffled against Jordan's chest. Jordan's fingers stilled in his hair. "Mistakes build us, babe. You didn't sell a house, you sold a cage." Work grounded him. Alex landed a gig at the local library, shelving tomes on California history and facilitating LGBTQ+ book clubs that drew a motley crew, teens with rainbow pins, elders sharing faded photos of hidden lives. Lila had connected him with the head librarian, a non-binary soul named Riley with neon blue hair and a laugh like wind chimes. "You're a natural," Riley said after Alex's first session, where stories of Stonewall bled into personal reckonings. It was there, amid the hush of turning pages, that Alex began to heal, facilitating not just discussions, but his own unraveling. Yet shadows lingered. A letter arrived from Robert's lawyer, forwarded from Mendocino, a final plea, veiled as negotiation, accusing Alex of undue influence on Elena's will, dredging up old grief like mud from a tide. "He won't stop," Alex told Jordan, crumpling the paper as they walked the beach, barefoot in the surf. Jordan's jaw tightened, his artist's sensitivity flaring into protectiveness. "Then we fight smarter. I got a friend in town, a queer activist lawyer. Let's shut this down for good." That night, over takeout tacos, they plotted, countersue for harassment, donate a chunk of the proceeds to local youth shelters. Action replaced paralysis, Jordan's fire igniting Alex's embers. But romance, that delicate bloom, needed tending too. Jordan surprised him with a weekend getaway to Big Sur, the highway curving like a lover's spine along sheer drops to turquoise coves. Their cabin perched on a redwood bluff, windows framing mist-shrouded valleys. "No phones, no past," Jordan decreed, pulling Alex into a clawfoot tub steaming with lavender. Water lapped at their skin as hands explored, slow, teasing strokes that built to gasps, Jordan's teeth grazing Alex's neck, eliciting moans that echoed off wooden beams. "I see you," Jordan breathed against his ear, fingers delving deeper, curling just so. Alex arched, lost in sensation, the world dissolving to slick heat and heartbeat. They hiked Pfeiffer Falls the next day, the trail slick with recent rain, ferns brushing their calves like secrets. At the Cascade's base, mist kissing their faces, Jordan dropped to one knee, not with a ring, but a pebble smoothed by Ian's, etched crudely with a heart. "Not forever yet," he grinned, "but a promise. We're in this surf together." Tears blurred Alex's vision as he pulled Jordan up, their kiss fierce under the roar, tongues tangling with salt and spray. It was the romance Alex craved, grounded, whimsical, defying the gravity of loss. Back in Santa Cruz, the activist lawyer Theo, a dapper black man with a bow tie and a barracuda smile, filed the countersuit swiftly. "Your dad's grasping at straws," Theo said over coffee at a queer cafe, rainbow flags fluttering outside. "But it'll cost him. And you? Channel that energy. I've got a foundation looking for board members." Alex hesitated, the idea of advocacy thrilling yet terrifying, like stepping off the bluff without a parachute. Jordan squeezed his hand under the table. "You've got the voice. Use it." The book club evolved under his touch, sessions swelling with raw testimonies. A trans teen navigating dysphoria, a bisexual dad reconciling faith and family. Alex shared sparingly at first, snippets of Mendocino's sting, But one night, with Jordan in the front row sketching quietly, he let it pour. The shattered window, the burden label, the sail that severed yet freed. The room held its breath, then erupted in hugs and affirmations. "You're our hero," a young woman whispered. "Hero?" Alex laughed inwardly, but the word stuck, a balm to old wounds. Jordan's gallery show loomed, his coastal series, Bluffs and Boys, Loss and Light, poised to debut at a Mission Street space. Nerves frayed him, brushes flying in manic bursts, but Alex was as steady. Midnight runs for Thai food, massages that turned amorous, bodies slick with oil and desire. "You're brilliant," Alex murmured during one, straddling Jordan's hips, grinding slow as lips met in lazy hunger. Jordan groaned, hands gripping thighs. "Only cause you see it." Their release came shared, shuddering, a testament to mutual musedom. The countersuit hearing was anticlimactic, a virtual Zoom where Robert appeared haggard, his lawyer folding like wet paper. Dismissed, the judge ruled, and the screen went black. Relief washed over Alex, but so did sorrow. His father, diminished, a man clinging to hate as his anchor. He wrote a letter then, not sent but sealed in a drawer. "I forgive you, Dad. Not for me. For Mom's memory. Be free." Jordan found him later, curled on the loft's rug. "Proud of you," he said, drawing him into an embrace that lingered, clothes discarded in a trail to bed. There, in tangled sheets, they made love with a gentleness born of survival. Kisses like anchors thrust like lifelines. As summer waned, Alex joined the foundation board, advocating for housing for queer youth displaced like he'd almost been. Jordan's show sold out, critics praising the visceral romance in every stroke. Life wove forward, threads of pain and passion intertwining in a tapestry. But one autumn evening, a call from Mendocino shattered the weave. The developer had uncovered something in the house's foundation, an old deed, Elena's secret, tying the property to a queer history Alex never knew. The call came on a crisp October morning, fog veiling Santa Cruz like a half-remembered dream. As Alex sipped coffee on the loft balcony, Jordan's arm slung possessively around his waist. Lila's voice crackled through the line, urgent and laced with that familiar Mendocino grit. "Alex, honey, you sitting down?" The crew tearing up your old place for condos found something wild. Letters, photos, hidden in the crawlspace. Tied to the house's deed. Elena's handwriting all over it. Alex's mug slipped, shattering on the tiles, shards mirroring the jolt in his chest. "What kind of letters?" Lila hesitated. "Love letters. From the 40s. To a woman. Your mom was. Part of something bigger." The drive north was a blur of Highway 1's serpentine curves. Jordan at the wheel of their borrowed Jeep, his free hand clasped in Alex's, thumb stroking knuckles in silent solidarity. Words failed them. The revelation too vast. Elena, the woman of lullabies and linens, harboring a secret sapphic heart? Mendocino emerged from the mist like a prodigal scene. The bluff house now a skeleton of studs and exposed beams, construction dust swirling like ghosts. The developer, a burly guy named Hank with a clipboard and a guilty squint, met them at the site. "Didn't mean to pry," he grumbled, handing over a battered tin box. "But it's yours by rights. Found it under the floorboards, deed amendment, too." Inside the trailer office, amid blueprints and coffee rings, Alex Pride opened the box, heart hammering. Faded envelopes spilled out, tied with ribbon yellowed by time, addressed to "My dearest Elle." Elena's script, elegant loops, mingled with another's bolder strokes. Photos followed. Two women in sundresses, arms linked on the very porch Alex had fled, smiles radiant against the 40s backdrop. One was Elena, young and luminous. The other, a striking brunette with Elena's eyes. Her sister? No, the letters clarified. "My love, my lighthouse." One read, signed Vivian. Vivian Langston, a local artist who'd vanished after the war. Whispers of scandal chasing her. Jordan whistled low, poring over the deed writer, a quiet claim from 1947, protecting the house as a safe harbor for those society shuns, buried in legalese to evade prying eyes. "Your mom built a legacy," he said, voice thick, "for people like us." Tears stung Alex's eyes, not a betrayal, but awe. Elena, closeted yet courageous, weaving protection into bricks. "She knew," he whispered. "About me, maybe. That's why the will." The pieces clicked. Her gentle prods during his teen angst, the books she'd left on his bed, Giovanni's room, slipped in like contraband. Hank cleared his throat. "Halts the demo till we sort title." Could be historical landmark status. Save the place. Alex's mind reeled. Save it? The house he'd sold to escape. Now a beacon of hidden histories? Jordan's gaze met his, green eyes steady. Your call, love. We can fight for it. Drive back south was quieter, the box on Alex's lap like a talisman. That night, in the loft, they read the letters aloud by candlelight, voices weaving Elena and Vivian's passion, stolen nights in the attic, dreams of Paris deferred by war and whispers. She loved fiercely, Jordan said, pulling Alex close. Their kiss deepened, bodies igniting with a reverence for inherited fire. Jordan's mouth hot on Alex's throat, hands roaming with worship, eliciting gasps that echoed the letter's longing. News spread like wildfire through queer networks. Theo, the lawyer, looped in advocacy groups. Riley blasted it in library newsletters. Petitions circulated, Save the Lighthouse Legacy, trending locally, drawing historians and activists to Mendocino. Alex became reluctant spokesperson, interviews with coastal papers where he shared Elena's story. Not as tragedy, but triumph. She hid to protect, but now we honor by revealing. He told a reporter, Jordan's hand hidden, but firm in his pocket. The romance fueled him. Jordan sketching protest posters, their lovemaking a fuel for the fight. Urgent. Against the kitchen counter one dawn, Alex's back arched as Jordan thrust deep, breaths mingling in I love US that sealed resolve. Robert resurfaced via email, curt and cracked. Heard about the house. Your mother's secrets. Explains a lot. Don't let it consume you. Alex stared at the screen, a bridge offered, rickety but real. He replied simply, It explains everything. Join us. No response, but the seed planted. Meanwhile, the foundation board rallied, securing grants for preservation. Lila drove down for a strategy session, her buzz cut sharper, eyes gleaming. This is bigger than one house, kid. It's a statement. Winter storms battered the coast, mirroring the legal gales. The developer pushed back, citing costs, but public outcry, rallies on the bluff, rainbow flags snapping in wind, swayed the board. Alex and Jordan camped there one gale-lashed night, in a tent amid the ruins, rain drumming like applause. Huddled in sleeping bags, they made love slow and sensory, fingers tracing rain-slick skin, Jordan's tongue coaxing cries from Alex that drowned the tempest. We're the storm now, Jordan murmured, entering him with tender force, their rhythm sinking to thunder. Release came shattering, bodies quaking in afterglow, the house's bones creaking approval. By spring, landmark status locked in. The house reborn as a queer heritage center, docents guiding tours through restored rooms, Elena's letters framed like icons. Alex curated the library wing, stocking Vivian's rediscovered sketches, unearthed in an archive, thanks to Jordan's Art World connections. Opening day drew crowds, elders weeping at Vivian's portraits, youth snapping selfies with Elena's photo. Robert arrived unannounced, gray suit rumpled, eyes downcast. She was brave, he said, voice gruff, handing Alex a keychain, Elena's, engraved with a wave. I was blind. Sorry don't fix it, but it's a start. Alex hugged him, brief and bone deep, Jordan nodding from afar. No fairy tale mend, but fracture mending. That night, in the center's attic, restored to echo Elena's hideaway. They celebrated, champagne pilfered, bodies entwined on a blanket spread over creaky floors. Jordan's hands were everywhere, teasing nipples to peaks, dipping low to stroke Alex to frenzy. The center thrived, Alex's advocacy blooming into speaking gigs, Jordan's series on hidden harbors touring galleries. Love deepened, roots tangling, a ring exchanged on a Santa Cruz pier, simple gold bands etched with waves. But as summer peaked, a new letter surfaced, not from the past but the present, an anonymous donor, matching the sales proceeds for the center's expansion. The note? From one who was blind, now sees. R. Summer's heat wave blanketed the coast in a relentless haze, turning Santa Cruz's streets into shimmering mirages. But inside the loft, Alex and Jordan carved cool sanctuaries, fans whirring, sheets tangled from nights of sweat-slick passion. The anonymous donation had turbocharged the Lighthouse Center, funding a youth residency program where queer artists like Vivian could thrive unchecked. Alex oversaw applications, reading tales of displacement that mirrored his own, a trans kid from the Central Valley, a non-binary poet fleeing Bible Belt chains. You're changing lives, Jordan said one evening, toweling off after a cold shower, water droplets tracing his abs like invitations. Alex pulled him down, mouths crashing in hunger, bodies sliding urgent and wet across tiles. Jordan's fingers probing, curling, drawing guttural pleas until Alex shattered, only to return the favor, taking Jordan deep with lips and tongue until he arched, spilling with a curse worship. Robert's thaw continued in fits. Sporadic calls, gruff check-ins on the center, a tentative visit where he toured the exhibits in silence, pausing longest at Elena's portrait. "She looks happy," he muttered, and Alex nodded, throat tight. She was in her way. We can be too. No deep dives into the pain, but the ice cracked, allowing sunlight. Jordan played buffer, his easy charm coaxing Robert into a bluff hike, where waves below seemed to wash old sins. "Life's too short for grudges," Jordan said lightly, and Robert grunted agreement, the first olive branch. Advocacy pulled Alex wider. A TEDx invite for inheriting courage, his talk weaving Elena's letters with his sales catharsis, the audience, 100 strong, rising in ovation. Backstage, Jordan waited with roses and a kiss that bruised sweet. "You slayed," he growled, pinning Alex to the green room wall, hands slipping under waistband to stroke firmly, teasing until Alex bucked, biting back moans. They barely made it to the car, fucking in the back seat under parking lot shadows. Raw, reckless, Jordan's thrusts punishing the leather with slaps, Alex's nails raking back in ecstasy. But Kith deepened the weave. Riley proposed a library center collab, joint storytelling nights where elders mentored youth. First event packed the house, flames in the restored fireplace flickering like memories. Alex emceed, voice steady as he introduced a pair. A lesbian veteran sharing 40s furtive dances, a young dyke rapping beats of modern fire. Laughter and tears flowed, and in the mingle after, Robert cornered Alex. "Proud," he said, the word foreign on his tongue. "Of her. Of you." Alex's eyes burned. Hug followed, awkward but anchoring. Jordan's career surged. A solo show in L.A., Bluff Bonds, selling for 5 figures, proceeds split to the center. Prep consumed him. Late studios, charcoal dust in his hair, but Alex fueled returns. Dinners of grilled artichokes, massages escalating to oral symphonies, Alex on knees worshipping Jordan's length, swallowing with greedy hums until release flooded hot. "My anchor." Jordan panted, hauling him up for penetrative praise, entering slow then savage, loft echoing their chorus. A snag arose. Center expansion unearthed resistance. Local conservatives decrying indoctrination, petitions to revoke status. Theo rallied counters, but stress gnawed Alex, sleep evading in nightmare loops of Robert slurs. Jordan countered with escape. A Monterey road trip, Cannery Row haunts by day, nights in a B&B with 4-poster bed. Their romance reignited pure, candlelit baths, Jordan feeding Alex strawberries before trailing kisses south, tongue delving intimate, lapping until Alex writhed, begging. Reciprocation was fervent, Alex rimming with devoted laps, then riding Jordan reverse, grinding to mutual peaks that left them boneless, whispering eternities. Back home, the fight peaked at town hall. Alex testified, voice thunder, Elena's letters a shield. "This isn't erasure, it's excavation." Cheers drowned boos, status held. Victory bash at the center, bonfire on the bluff, esmores and stories, Jordan toasting Alex as the heart. Under stars, they slipped away to the widow's walk, bodies urgent against railing. Jordan lifting Alex, legs rapping, thrusting upward in rhythm to distant waves, climaxes crashing like breakers. Fall brought harvest, residency inaugural, 5 talents arriving, diverse sparks, a elating sculptor, an indigenous drag performer. Alex mentored, his library shifts blending with center duties. Robert volunteered awkwardly, fixing leaks with his trucker hands, bonding over Elena anecdotes. She loved the sea's temper. He shared one dusk, and Alex smiled. "Like us." Jordan proposed formally then, on a pier at golden hour, ring glinting, wave-etched platinum. "Marry me." Knees it would, but Alex yanked him up. "Yes, idiot. Yes." Celebration was carnal. Loft alive with dominance play, Jordan binding wrists with silk ties, edging Alex mercilessly, vibrations, feathers, then denial, until please turn sobs, release explosive when granted. Alex flipped script next, topping with tender ferocity, pegging Jordan slow, whispers of love, sinking strokes to shudders. Wedding plans wove in, small bluff-side, guess a tapestry of found family. But a twist. Vivian's kin surfaced, a niece in Seattle, heir to untold stories. Visit plan, bridges to build. As leaves turned, Alex reflected. From burden to builder, the house had schooled him. Love's not owned, but shared. Winter's grip loosened into a tentative spring. Santa Cruz blooming riotous with jacarandas painting streets violet, mirroring the bruises fading on Alex's soul. Wedding fever infected the loft. Mood boards of wildflowers and driftwood arches, playlists blending Ella Fitzgerald with Hosier. Jordan, ever the visionary, sketched ceremony visions, bluff sunset, guests in whites, vows etched like his art. You in a suit, he teased one morning, nuzzling Alex's neck over pancakes, will ruin me. Alex laughed, flipping him onto the counter, syrup-sticky kisses devolving to grinding hips. Jordan's hand fisting Alex's hair as mouth devoured, arousal straining denim until they yielded, fucking against cabinets. Quick, dirty, Jordan's back scraping what as Alex took him from behind, slaps and swears harmonizing. Vivian's niece, Clara, a wiry septuagenarian with Vivian's bold brows and a smoker's rasp, arrived for the center's heritage weekend. Box of artifacts in tow, journals, a locket with Elena's curl. Over tea in the restored kitchen, stories unfurled. Vivian and Elena's meeting at a wartime USO dance, love igniting amid ration books and ration hearts. Aunt Viv said Elena was her North Star. Clara rasped, eyes misty. They dreamed of this place as haven. Alex's throat closed. Elena's will, the sail, all threads in a tapestry of quiet revolution. Clara gifted the locket, for the one who carries the light. Robert's involvement deepened. He catered the weekend, hauling trays of tamales, Elena's recipe, from his new food truck venture in Fort Bragg. Center buzzed. Residencies birthed exhibits. A mural of intertwined hands spanning the parlor, poetry slams echoing the attic. Alex's book club went virtual, reaching rural queers starved for mirrors. Stress peaked mid-planning. Vendor flakes, weather wobbles, a homophobic troll online dredging Robert's old slurs. Jordan shielded, deleting vitriol, then anchoring Alex in bed. Slow worship, oil-slick massages yielding to oral odysseys. Alex's legs over shoulders as Jordan's tongue worked magic, sucking and swirling until waves crashed, only for Alex to straddle and ride, controlling pace to Jordan's begging bliss. Theo warned of copycats, other families weaponizing wills against queer kin. Alex channeled fury into a foundation webinar, Legacy Without Limits, drawing hundreds. Post-event high, he and Jordan escaped to Half Moon Bay, tide pools by day, oyster bar by night. Hotel room seduction, blindfolds and ice, Jordan's teeth nipping chilled paths down Alex's torso, melting in a licks that pooled heat low, fingers joining to stretch and fill until Alex keened, unbound. Turnabout fare, Alex cuffing Jordan, feathers teasing to torment, then deep-throating with vacuum pulls, culminating in bareback bliss, bodies slapping in symphony. Clara stayed, weaving into the fold, storytelling auntie, regaling residency kids with Vivian's escapades. Her tales inspired Jordan. A new series, Echo Lovers, portraits blending Elena and Vivian's eras with modern muses. Alex as central figure, eyes fierce. Show preview at the Center Soul Prince, funds fueling scholarships. Robert attended, buying the largest. For the wall, he said, meaning his truck's cab, a talisman. Wedding week dawned electric. Guests trickled. Lila with her partner, Riley in floral, Marcus toasting legalese. Rehearsal dinner on the bluff. Bonfire crackle, Elena's tamales, vows practiced under stars. Alone after, Alex and Jordan danced slow on the widow's walk, hands roaming under shirts, kisses heating to hip rolls against pickets. Tomorrow, Jordan breathed, palming Alex through chinos, you're mine, eternal. They tumbled inside, love-making marathon, positions kaleidoscopic, from missionary murmurs to sideways spoons, each peak a preview of vows, sweat-sheened and sated. Ceremony day, sky cerulean, bluff windswept. Alex in linen suit, Jordan in vest and waves, exchanging rings with sea as witness. In your light, I find home, Alex vowed, voice carrying. Jordan's, with you, every storm's a sail. Honeymoon in Kauai, hikes to hidden falls, snorkels in coral gardens. Bungalow nights, Lanai lovemaking under palms, Jordan's body bronzed, Alex tracing tattoos as they coupled lazy, missionary with eye lock, doggy with hair pulls, releases sinking to island drums. Back, reality beckoned, Center's annual gala, Alex emceeing, Jordan exhibiting. But a shadow, Robert's cough, persistent, checked at Alex's insistence. Early lung cancer, trucker fumes toll. Beat it before, he rasped, but fear shadowed. Alex rallied. Second opinions, holistic aids, Center community meals delivered. Jordan painted a mural for Robert's truck. Phoenix, rising from smoke. Fight like Elena, Alex urged, holding vigil. Spring deepened resolve. Alex's webinar series launched, empowering families. Love anchored. Daily devotions. Jordan waking Alex with blowjobs blue ribbon. Alex returning with prostate play precise. As Robert's treatments began, Alex whispered, "We're legacies unbroken." Summer scorched back. Santa Cruz's hills golden under relentless sun. But Robert's battle cast long shadows over the jubilation. Chemo cycles sapped him. Hair thinning, frame shrinking. But his spirit, once rigid as redwood, bent like willow. "Your mom's strength," he'd say during bluff visits. Elena's locket now on his chain. Vivian's letters as bedside lore. Alex drove the coastal route weekly. Jordan shotgun with sketchpad, capturing Robert's wry grins amid four drips. Fort Bragg Hospital became haunt, but laced with levity. Marcus smuggling contraband comics. Lila blasting queer anthems from a boombox. Center pulsed vibrant. Residencies yielded a queer film fest, screenings in the parlor drawing crowds. Alex programmed, curating shorts on hidden loves, echoes of Elena. One filmmaker, a young trans director named Kai, bonded with him over post-credits beers. "Your story's the spine here," Kai said, and Alex demurred but pride swelled. Jordan's Echo lovers toured nationally, LA to NYC, proceeds padding Robert's care fund. Gaps filled with FaceTimes. Jordan's hotel romps solo. Alex teasing via video, stroking slow for the lens. Jordan mirroring in mirrors. Mutual masturbation a bridge across miles. Robert's remission flickered first scan, partial, but hope's ember. Celebration tamale feast at the center, family patchwork. Clara toasting Vivian's gin fizzes. Riley leading a conga. Post-feast, Alex found Robert on the porch, staring seaward. "Made peace," he grunted. "With her ghost. With you." Alex knelt head on knee. We all did. Embrace lingered. Forgiveness's quiet thunder. Advocacy crested. Alex keynote at a national conference in D.C. Houses of the Heart, weaving sail to sanctuary. Crowd wrapped, standing o-seismic. Jordan flew e-surprise, sweet seduction waiting. Silk restraints, sensory overload. Blindfolded feathers to flogger's light. Jordan's dom energy channeling care, edging Alex to delirium before filling him full. Thrusts measured to symphony of pleas. Reciprocal. Alex topping with toys tandem. Vibrations humming as he drove deep. Jordan submission a gift. Peaks polyphonic. Back west, wedding anniversary loomed. Year 1, bluff picnic redux. Jordan planned, meticulous. Vintage radio crooning. Elena's bread baked fresh. As dusk fell, rings renewed in Sanskrit. Vows whispered fierce. "Still my north," Jordan said, pulling Alex in a surf. Clothes shed to waves lapping bare skin. Love-making aqueous. Bodies buoyant. Jordan entering amid swells. Salt stinging eyes as rhythms match tide. Climaxes cresting with cries swallowed by roar. Center expansion broke ground. New wing for Vivian Archives, funded by Clara's bequest. Groundbreaking. Shovels in earth. Robert wielding one, weakened but willing. "For the hidden," he proclaimed, and cheers rose. Kai's doc premiered there, Lighthouse Lives, Elena's center frame, Alex narrating. Premiere after party, dances till dawn, Alex and Jordan stealing to attic for aerial tryst. Hammock sway, mutual 69 to symphonic sucks, then scissored 69 wait no, intertwined 69s yielding to penetrative paradise, bodies hammocked in harmony. Fall's equinox brought Robert's full remission, scans clean, docs baffled. Fighter, Alex toasted at family dinner, Jordan's foot teasing calf under table, promise of later. Indeed, post-meal, truck cab tryst, Robert oblivious outside, Jordan bending Alex over dash, fingers prepping plush before plunging, windows fogging to frenzy, releases ragged and right. Legacy rippled. Alex's series spawned chapters, local laws shifting on queer states. Theo partnered formal, foundation booming. Jordan's mural commission, center facade, intertwined figures eternal. Holiday haze, Thanksgiving bluffside, Elena's recipes evolved, tamales with Jordan's herb twist. Robert carved turkey, tails tumbling. Road yarns softened Sand's judgment. Christmas Eve, center lit aglow, carols queer-infused. Gift exchange, Alex to Robert, Vivian's sketch restored. Robert to Alex, deed copy framed. Joint forever. Jordan's to Alex, custom locket, dual photos inside. New Year's bluff bash, fireworks over waves, resolutions sealed in kiss. Alone after, Airstream revival. Jordan's old trailer park guest, canvas cocoon, bodies oiled and oral. Alex deep-throating devotion. Jordan reciprocating rim to root. Then bare union, missionary to mutual. Year turning on tidal thrusts. Winter whispered change. Clara's health waned. Seattle summons. Visit yielded stories surplus. Her passing peaceful. Funeral fused families. Ashes scattered bluff. Vivian's poem read. Grief communal. Healing in hugs. Spring's renewal. Center's second fest. Alex emceeing with ease. Robert dated. A widow from town. Spark shy. Life's waves, he quipped. Alex beaming. Anniversary 2 loomed. But first, surprise pregnancy? No. Metaphoric. Residency kids art baby. Collaborn. Love's constancy. Daily rites. Jordan's morning woods worship. Alex's evening edges. As blossoms burst, Alex pondered. From Burden's brand to Beacon's blaze, the house had schooled sovereignty. The second anniversary dawned with a rarity. A lazy Santa Cruz morning, fog burn yielding to sun that gilded the loft like liquid gold. Jordan stirred first. As always, his body a warm curve against Alex's back, hand trailing lazy patterns over hip to stir morning wood. Happy us, he murmured, nipping earlobe, voice husky with sleep and want. Alex arched in a touch, gasp escaping as Jordan's fingers wrapped firm, stroking slow to sync with breaths. Turn yielded tender. Alex rolling atop, mouths fusing fierce, grinding groins till friction fired, release spilling sticky between bellies, sealed in sloppy kiss. Breakfast followed. Avocado toast, coffee black, plans unfolding, bluff renewal, guess minimal, focus fierce on them. Prep wove whimsy. Jordan etching vows on driftwood, Alex baking Elena's bread with twists, rosemary from the center's herb garden. Robert arrived eve of, arms laden with crab from Fort Bragg Halls, his girlfriend Marta in tow, silver-haired firebrand with a laugh like gulls. Bluff's lucky, she winked at Alex, sensing the weave. Dinner familial, tales of Marta's sailor youth. Robert's eyes soft on her, Alex's heart full. Post-meal, stars pricked velvet sky. Robert pulled Alex aside. Marta, she gets it. The hidden parts. Alex hugged tight. Good. You deserve waves gentle. Ceremony redux. Bluff bare but beautiful. Lila officiating in rainbow stole. Riley strumming guitar. Hosier's Take Me to Church acoustic. Vows voiced, vows evolved. Alex's, in fractures, we forged whole. Jordan's, your light, my endless canvas. Rings slipped, kissed deep into whoops, see applauding foam. Reception intimate. Picnic sprawl, wine flowing, dances duo, then group, Jordan twirling Alex dizzy, hands wandering discreet under shirts. Twilight turned tryst, guest cottage on site, petals wild, tubs steaming eucalyptus. Bath bubbled banter to bliss. Jordan soaping Alex's back, fingers dipping low to tease, eliciting moans that misted mirrors. Towels tossed, bed beckoned. 69 symphony, mouse devouring in dual delight, hips bucking to brink before flipping. Jordan entering velvet heat, slow burn thrusts building to battering ram. Alex's legs hooked heels to shoulders, nails scoring shoulders as peaks pulverized. Afterglow, limbs lax, whispers weaving futures, adoption dreams, art lofts abroad. Years cascaded like cliffs to sea. Center canonized, national model for queer havens, Alex director by 30, keynotes global. Jordan's galleries galore, series spawning scholarships. Robert and Marta wed quiet, beachside, Alex best man. Tamales toasted, tears tempered joy. Kids came via fostered adopt. First Theo, a wiry 10-year-old with trust fractures, mended in bluff builds and bedtime, Vivian verses. Then Lila, 7, fierce with questions, answered in center clay classes. Family fractal. Mornings chaotic, pancakes and paint smears. Nights nested, Jordan reading, Alex harmonizing. Intimacy adapted, stolen showers slick with soap and sucks, date nights docking deep in dark theaters. Quickies quiet post-bedtimes. Alex topping Jordan bent over sink. Gasps muffled in towels. Or Jordan hoisting Alex against fridge. Domestic dominance delicious. Robert's health held. Grandkids his glee. Bluff sandcastles. Tales tall. Burden, he'd scoff at old echoes. Blessings all. Elena's photo presided parlor. Vivian beside. Legacies linked. Decade dawned. Center's 10th. Gala grand. Film fest fused with feast. Kai's doc sequel screening. Robert emceeing hail. Alex's speech. From sold house to housed hearts. Love liberates. Ovation oceanic. Anniversary 10. Hawaii homage. Kauai cabana. Kids with Clara's kin. Luau laughs. Then Lover's Lagoon. Snorkel by day. Nightfall nude dips. Bodies buoyant. Jordan's hand guiding underwater strokes to surfacing shutters. Beach blanket bacchanal. Oils anointing. Oral orchestras. Unions unbound in moonlight. Waves washing worries. Ripples radiated. Theo's trans journey championed. Lila's poetry published. Alex's book, Bluff Burdens, A Queer Inheritance. Bestseller, proceeds preserving sites nationwide. Robert's 70th. Bluff Bash. Truck, gleaming Phoenix muraled. Dance with Marta. Then Alex. Proud, son. Always now. Passing came gentle. 80 mark. Cancer's callback cruel but quick. Bedside Elena's locket passed. Last words. Waves wait. Swim strong. Grief gale, but family fortified. Memorial Center eulogy. Ashes adrift with Vivian's. Jordan held Alex through nights numb. Bodies balm. Slow rocks in bed's cradle. Penetrations placid to passionate. Anchors amid ache. Years layered. Kids college-bound. Theo activist, Lila artist. Empty nest echoed, but travels filled. Paris Elena dreamed. Vivian's haunts. Jordan sketching. Alex scripting stories. 40s found them. Center legacy secured. Alex emeritus. Jordan curator coastwide. Vows renewed bluff. Gray graces in hair. Rings worn warm. 60s silver. Grandkids gamble. Center centennial looming. Rocking chairs widows walk. Hands clasped. Sea serenading. Worth the sell. Jordan quips. Alex smiles. Eyes ocean deep. Sold the cage. Gained the sky. Legacy lingered. Not house, but heart. Love's lighthouse. Beaming, eternal. In twilight's embrace, they kissed, waves whispering amen.